In the policy breakdown tonight, folks, I want to talk to you about the state of Texas and what's going down in Texas. So, people don't know about her, but her name is Jody Lautenberg. And she is a senator that has introduced for the second time the most regressive abortion policy that we've seen in American history. Now, let me tell you some things about our good friend, Senator Judy. Senator Judy was ranked the third most conservative member in the Texas State Senate. Beyond that, Senator Judy has also been known to say a rape kit is a form of an abortion. Yep, that is right. Now, we've seen the people defeat this Texas law before, just a couple weeks ago, with Senator Wendy Davis. But now they're back at it because Rick Perry has called another special session to take up this Senator Lautenberg, to take up her bill once again, even though the people had spoke the first time. America, this is a travesty to the 10th degree here. And I think beyond that, folks, beyond what we saw is that Rick Perry last week on the Sunday shows, he made his Sunday rounds. He also made some very, 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 I would say, insulting and demeaning comments about Senator Wendy Davis. One of those comments being that she said because she had a teen pregnancy, and also, if she maybe that's the reason why she's for this, and maybe she should, she's sort of totally misguided and blase. Now, while I am a pro-choice individual, and I believe what a woman does between her and her doctor is her and her doctor's business and not mine, I want to play the devil's advocate here for just a second. So Governor Rick Perry is against abortions, abortions. He's for this bill, which is the most regressive abortion policy in the country, right? But this same governor is also against comprehensive sexual health education in the school system, which doesn't make any sense to me. So put this all into play. You are a young girl or a young boy growing up in the state of Texas. You don't get comprehensive sexual health education in school, meaning nobody's telling you about a condom, nobody's telling you about birth control, nobody's telling you about the risk of having sex early or how to protect yourself if you are involved in sexual relations or sexual intercourse. But we're going to stop you from having the options to prevent a pregnancy, even though we don't teach you about the options before. My mom always had one thing to say. She always used to say prevention is better than cure. Abortion is a cure, whether we like it or not, whether I agree with it or not, and I do agree with it. I do agree that we should have the right to get an abortion. Abortion is a cure to pregnancy. And in the situation for teenagers, sometimes abortion is a cure to having sex with somebody you don't want to have sex with, having sex before you're ready, or not planning your family correctly, however you want to split the cookie. But the truth of the matter is, if he was teaching comprehensive sexual education, this wouldn't be a problem. But the governor's head is so far up his ass that he doesn't know any better. And this is part of the Republican hypocrisy. They don't want to give you prevention. They don't want to give you cure. You just got to figure it out. Because in their sick and twisted world, they talk about natural law and everything will work out, blase, and they try to use their religion and their religious social values to skew the rest of the country and the rest of the world, for that matter, or how they see the world. It skews their view of the world, which in any logical, even for those people out there who are logical Christians or logical Muslims or logical Jewish individuals or logical people who are Buddhist, they would understand that you have to provide some sort of prevention to our children, some sort of prevention. Let's teach them about condoms. Let's teach them about dental dam. Let's teach them about a diaphragm. Let's teach them about having protected sex. Let's teach them about the risk of having unprotected sex. But when you're not teaching them the risk at all whatsoever, and then you want to take away their chance to get a cure, what do you expect these teenagers to do, Governor Rick Perry? Not everybody was as high and mighty and as holy as you were in school, my friend. But this speaks to me, this is a larger problem that we have with the far right. Because the far right believes in their moral convictions so deeply that it skews what their moral convictions really are. You see, because how I read the Bible, and if I read it right, Jesus was a loving man. Jesus was love. And I remember the story of Jesus going to the well, and he asked the Samaritan woman for water. And he said, I will give you the water of life, even though you had various husbands and you slept around and you were promiscuous. I'll talk to you. I'll hold your hand. I'll be your friend. Speaking about friendship, Jesus' closest friend, the friend that came to wrap him again when he was dead. Now that is the ultimate act, America. The ultimate act is when you have a dead person to go into their grave and to clothe them. The ultimate act of friendship. Mary Magdalene. And Magdalene, as we all know, is a reference for prostitute if you look at the Aramaic language, whatever language it is. I'm no theologian, but look it up, Google it, right? And she was his friend. So his friend was a prostitute, and he talked to the Samaritan woman he hung out with, he hung out with tax collectors and people that stole and robbed and blase, blase. All those things to be there are true. But yet still, the people who profess to say, Lord, Lord, all the time, the Pat Robinsons of this world who believe that gay people who are of the LGBT liking and kissing on Facebook should make you vomit, and there should be a vomit button on Facebook. Those individuals that would spew that type of hatred, people like Rick Perry that will spew hatred, says if you get raped, you cannot get a rape exam because that is a form of an abortion. People like that. People like Paul Ryan, who think that a woman doesn't have a right to choose, and when she has that baby, the government's not going to help her get any milk for it. Those people, I truly do believe, bring shame to the eyes of God. You see, because God was pretty clear. Render to Caesar what is Caesar's, and render to God's what is God's. And the right to regulate your body and the laws that the state make are just that, the law of Caesar's. They're not to do with the law of God, they're the law of Caesar. The law of God is for you and your religion. You and what you believe in, you and what you subscribe in. The Bible's pretty clear, judge lest you be judged. And it also says in that book, don't take the speck out of somebody else's eye when you have a log in yours. So Rick Perry, I ask you to look at the log in your eye. Look at the various levels of corruption that you're involved with. Look at who you hang out with. People like Bob McDonnell, who was the thief of all thieves. We'll talk about him later on the show, right? Or Tom DeLay, who stole millions and millions of dollars to pay his wife and daughter. Thieves, robbers, sinners, just like you, Governor Rick Perry. So don't judge the sin about that 15-year-old girl or 16-year-old girl that decides to make a decision to get an abortion. You need to respond to her with love and not hate. And these bills that they push forward and these laws that they make are dripping with hate and deceit and judgment. But I say to you all today that I do believe that righteousness prevails and justice prevails. And those of you out there who've had an abortion, or those of you out there that believes that an abortion is between a woman or a doctor, or those of you out there that love somebody, no matter if they're LGBT, A, B, C, D, or Q, U, F, R, that is a love that God wanted you to have, and not the love of Rick Perry and the so-called love of Bob McDonnell. We'll be right back on the pause after this. Hey, Fowler Nation, the best thing you can do to support this channel is by clicking that subscribe button. And I got a secret for you. If we get to 1,500 subscribers, we will drop a special behind the scenes video just for you, Fowler Nation. That's how much I love you.